Show me the money.
Just looking good, but I think I'm taking too long.
Back with the spot for a Glock. I took a loss over floss, but still got a knock.
Jerry, does that make you feel good just to say that?
All right, show me the money. NFL picks for Super Bowl 56 are here. Join me today, the Giant fan. We talked to him right at the start of the offseason before the Giants fired Joe Judge. Justin Diaz is back. Justin, how are you?
I'm doing well, Mike. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I'd say a lot's changed with the Giants since the last time we talked.
Yeah, they finally, I think we spoke the day before they fired Judge. They finally woke up and realized, I think it was just obviously they saw the media reactions. Maybe they were reading Twitter a little bit and they realized they couldn't keep doing keep the clown show going. They had to make a change. So maybe some positive steps in the right direction, finally.
Yeah, absolutely. And just on the football, if you're going to focus on the Giants, because we're going to leave the Flores lawsuit out of it. I've talked about that plenty on the podcast last week. But in terms of on a football sense, the Joe Shane, Brian Dable pairing coming here being the new direction for the Giants. How do you feel about that?
I really like it. I mean, the GM search is that one. I wasn't familiar with really any of the candidates beyond the surface level, just what I read. But this guy, everything you read is consistently very strong, very positive feedback. He apparently works very hard. He started as like an intern for the Panthers, and the Bills have just been very well run. They've had a great run of success lately. So I really like that hire. And Dable was honestly and a lot of Giants fans' number one choice. He did an amazing job with Josh Allen and the Bills. It's a finally positive. This is the first, I literally think, and the dozen times they've been on your podcast over the course of 5 years, this is the first positive things I'm saying about the Giants. And I know I'm very happy with both hires. It's a reason for cautious optimism, finally.
Yeah, cautious optimism for sure. I feel like I said, they've worked together. They seem to be heading the right direction. And I know this year might be painful, but again, this is a group that they were part of a team that helped Buffalo become a big AFC threat in about 3 years. So you got to hope that that's the direction the Giants end up heading in the NFC.
Yeah, you have to start somewhere, right? As corny as that sounds. The Giants have been directionless and terrible for so long. It's one thing to be terrible, but if you have an actual plan in place, decided by competent people and not by my best friend Dave Gettleman, then you know what? There's reason for optimism. You'd suffer through bad football if you feel like the people in place actually have a plan for the future that makes sense, not let's draft a running back second overall, which I'll never get over, and I'll remind everyone till the day I die. But it's I'm cautiously optimistic for the first time since the day before they drafted Saquon, and that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, one of the big takeaways I noticed from some of their early media stuff is that Daniel Jones will be back in 2022, so he can take off the Russell Wilson rumors, no Deshaun Watson rumors. It's like Jones will come back in 2022. I think this is the correct play for the Giants. Do you agree?
I 100% agree. It'd be mostly because of lack of other options. It's a weak quarterback draft. I don't think the Russell Wilson trade rumors are realistic. I don't think he's going to be traded. Deshaun Watson, obviously, for the off-the-field issues he has, I don't blame the Giants for not wanting to go down that route. So I don't see a purpose of bringing in someone like Mitch Trubisky or a bridge quarterback, as people like to say. You might as well give Jones one more shot, mostly because of lack of alternatives. Maybe Dable can make him look pretty good or work with him and help him improve. I think it's the right play for sure.
Yeah, because I think the way I see it, I think it's the correct play. Because obviously, I do think you bring in somebody to compete with him and push him for the job. I think Mario would be somebody I would look to bring in and have the way. Plus, if he gets hurt, not having Mike Glennon back as the quarterback backup would be great. But I think you look at his two ways. Either Dable fixes him, he's competent, you guys are doing better, you have an option for the medium term in quarterback, or he stinks and you have a high draft pick, you're drafting one anyway. So I don't think there's any losing scenario here.
Agreed. There's as long as they're realistic about him. If he's average or solid, I don't want them to give him a big contract extension and just go with him for the next several years. But that's figure that out down the road. I agree. There's just really no reason not to bring him back and start him because there's no clearly better alternatives out there.
Yeah, for sure. And as you're getting ready, we are recording on Sunday the 6th, 1 week before the big game, the Bengals and the Rams. And I know I heard from one of our friends off the air that you may disappoint the NFC title game. I know you had some big futures going with the 49ers.
Oh yeah, that hurt my soul. I bet on the 49ers. I bet on the 49ers to win the Super Bowl right at the start of the playoffs. They were 22-1. I mean, I love their roster. I think they have a great team for the playoffs that are built. You know, they're one of the few physically dominating teams left in the league that primarily runs the ball. So I thought they had a good chance of making a run. They were pretty lucky to even be in the conference championship game, but I mean, they were there up 17-7, and I don't remember the defensive back's name, but Matthew Stafford basically threw a punch to him, and the guy just had to drop it and fall, but he dropped it. I mean, he had to catch it and fall, but unfortunately he dropped it, and that was the turning. I was at a bar with a few of my friends. One of them turned to me and goes, "That's the turning point of the game," and unfortunately it was right. So it was fun. It was fun. It's always fun when you have a bet like that going. Game. I think it's a great matchup, and it's nice to have some new blood in the game. You know, no more Tom Brady, no more. The Chiefs are finally they're not back in, so yeah, it's an exciting matchup.
Yeah, it is for sure. I did a little bit of Super Bowl betting special here last week on the podcast. Sports Grades Kevin Wall. We talked about some of our favorite game related props, and there's some interesting stuff out there. Do you have any props you're looking at right now? You're saying, I'm going to play this one on the Super Bowl.
I love Odell Beckham as the first touchdown scorer, and there's no rhyme or reason behind that other than I've just always loved Odell Beckham. He was my favorite player when he was on the Giants. I've always rooted for him. I think he's got an unfair rap. So he's been having a phenomenal postseason. He looks great again, and I just have a good hunch on that. It's plus 800 on FanDuel right now. That would be one of my go-tos. What do you have going on?
Yeah, I'm going to look at a lot of the Cooper Kupp stuff for sure because, I mean, he has so many interesting numbers here. I mean, I think the one Kevin mentioned last week I think I like is his longest reception over 29.5 yards. I feel like that's a lock to hit.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like every play he gets wide open behind the entire defense, and you're like, how are you forgetting to cover the guy that had 2,000 yards almost this year? He torched the 49ers too. That was getting frustrating, but yeah, that's definitely a good one. I think I'll put that one in too. But I haven't really looked too much other than that though. I should take a look before the game.
Yeah, I'm going to do some more research this week because I haven't really laid any money down yet because I want to see not only that, I want to see some of the ridiculous other props that come out here like the coin toss and the halftime one. I want to see if any of those actually worth actually throwing some shekels on. Yeah.
There's always fun ones, and as Giants and Jets fans, we know we're not actually going to be in the game, so the props are where it's at to keep ourselves entertained.
Yeah, for sure. And let's get to the pick, which is the reason you are here this week. Our good friend Joe Chaffee was here 2 weeks ago when we did the conference championship round. He went 1-0-1. He took the Bengals getting the 7 points, and he pushed on the Rams -3. I'm laying the 3, so he got the win that week.
You picked against him, or was it? How did that work?
I went 0-1-1. I went heads up with him on the Chiefs, and I pushed on the Niners. We went heads up on both picks, but he got the one win.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm curious what your pick is. I have a gut feeling it's going to be the same though, but we'll see.
Yeah. So on the year, the Challengers are 29-34-3, 7-4-1 the plus. They beat me in the playoffs. I'm 32-32-2, 3-8-1 the playoffs. I had a really rough divisional round. Put you behind the 8 ball there.
Yeah, I mean that was that I actually don't even remember who I took that week, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see if we have the same pick or not for this game.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're going to go ahead. We're going to do our final pick of the season here. We're going to do Super Bowl 56. We're going to go Sunday, 6:40 on NBC. The Bengals and the Rams. The Rams are laying 4 points. Justin, who are you taking?
I'm taking the Rams. I think if you want me to put a score on it, I'll say Rams 30, Bengals 24. I just think the Rams are a better team across the board. Their pass rush is incredible, and the Bengals' offensive line struggled pretty much the whole season. It's actually incredible that Burrow's played as well as he has. Aaron Donald and Von Miller should have a big game. I like them to win. I love Joe Burrow. I love Jamar Chase. I think they're going to have some huge plays. They'll keep it interesting, and it'll come down to late in the game, but I'm picking the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going there with you. I'm taking the Rams laying the 4 points too. I think for me, this game, I think it's not being talked about enough. I think the battle in the trench is going to be a huge favor of the Rams. The Cincinnati offensive line stinks, and all the especially the Rams have, whether it's Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, they're going to get to the quarterback. I think this game's going to be lower scoring. People, I would play the under 2 on this game if I was playing it, but I think the Rams win this game, say 24-14. So I'm going to take the Rams. I'll be right there with you.
Good. Yeah. No, I think if I had to guess, I would say that's the majority of people are taking the Rams. But I mean, who the heck thought the Bengals would even be here? So I'm excited to see what they can do. They're young and it feels like they have that nothing to lose mentality. So we'll see. It should be a really good game. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, just to reset, he has Super Bowl pick. Justin and I are both laying the points with the Rams, -4. And with that, we have the picks are done for the year. I feel sad this is over because I feel like the football season just started.
I know, it flew by. It always flies by, doesn't it? But wait, am I the last person to go on, like for the picks?
You're the last of the season.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you. I feel honored. Like I'm going to wear that as a badge of honor for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, because it's always fun. Because I always try and, especially comes to the playoffs, I sort of try and get people on whose teams are in there. Because I had sort of designs on certain people, and then everybody whose team I had represented lost by the championship rounds. I'm like, okay, I'll just go back to the Giant well because we had the big news with them hiring Shane and Daboll. So let's just go back there and revisit that first.
Yeah, I was thinking like if the Giants are actually competent, you're gonna have to find time to. You're gonna have to fill that air of time where that was previously reserved for me and other Giants fans ranting about how pathetic they are. Their incompetence is clickbait. You're gonna have to find something to place that.
Yeah, I think the Giants right now are going to be off the radar for a little bit. I feel like they're going to do smart things. The team I'm watching here, I mean, if they ever get on the field, because the lockout never seems to end, it's like the Yankees seem to run everything back, so he might be the next target here.
I know, right? It's like all the New York teams can't be good at the same time. Well, none of them can be good. Forget about they've all been good at the same time. They will take one or two being good.
No, the Knicks are their own dumpster fire, too, so.
Yeah, I mean, that was predictable. They had a run of moderate success and people got excited, but then they realized Julius Randle is actually not a number one option. So, yeah, it's one step at a time. Let's just take the Giants being not a complete joke and clown show for the season. I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, you take that. I will take the lockout ending some point before before June. That would be helpful also.
Yeah, that's a mess. But what do you think? Is that when do you think they're gonna have any season? There's no way it's starting on time at this point, right?
I think if we do not, I mean, obviously camp's not starting on time. That's supposed to start like a week from now, so that's not happening. I suspect like if we don't hear by the end of the month that they're close, that we're going to have a delayed season.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's really a shame. I think it's fair to say that this has been boiling since the COVID condensed season, how contentious it was just to even get on the field. So I feel like this was inevitable.
Yeah. Who do you blame more, the owners or the players?
I don't know that much about the situation. I mean, I haven't kept up with it this year. My gut's always to say blame the owners more, just because I feel like they're the greedier side that tries to play poor and play the victim, and we don't have any money, and they're obviously lying, and the sport generates billions in revenue. And even like the COVID season, they're saying they're trying to have as short of a season as possible, claiming that, or pay. Actually, no, they're trying to pay the players not prorated per game. They wanted to pay them like 50% of their salary for the games they were playing, like not even pay them 100. The players had to fight to get their full prorated pay. So when I hear things like that from billionaires trying to play the victims being poor, my gut's going to say it's on the owners. What about you?
Oh, it's 100%. The owners are the vast majority of the blame for this situation because they locked out. They didn't go back to the table for about 43 days. And I don't know how much you followed the COVID negotiations. They basically followed the same sort of protocol here where they basically have the same amount of money they're willing to give, but they're just dressing up in different ways. They're actually making actual like bargains.
Yeah, exactly. And this the whole service time manipulation is just insane, and it's a terrible system. It always has been. The whole system. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm remembering the stuff that's been going on for the last few years. The whole free agency system of basically when Manny Machado and Harper were free agents and nobody went for them. Like no one really gave an earnest chance at at signing elite players that are 27 or something at the time.
Yeah.
That just shows you the system's broken.
Yeah, the system is broken, and I will say it's like a lot of stuff. It's like the players are not asking for unreasonable things. Like, hey, like the sport is growing, and payrolls are not growing at the same rate, so we should be getting paid more. And the owner basically saying like, okay, well, here's this money, like, and it's the way I sort of view it as like when they said with the payroll, like with the prorated thing you mentioned, where they kept offering the same amount of money disguised in different ways, where it's like, okay, we'll give you 81 games worth, but you're paid half your prorated salary. Like, oh, how about 50 games? You'll pay about 60 games. You pay 75%. Like 40 games, you'll pay 100%. So basically giving the same exact amount of money, just changing how they word the offer.
Right, exactly. It just seems foolish. I mean, just you're pissing your labor force off just to save a few million when long. It just seems short-sighted. But you know, it reminds me of that what you were just saying. Though there's a bodega down the street from me. It's buy one. It's I'm not even kidding. There's a Red Bull machine. It's one for $3, and then I swear to God, next to it says 2 for $6. It always made me laugh. It's basically what the owners are doing with the tricks, like that no one was going to understand what they're doing. It's unbelievable. But I mean, I love baseball, as you know, and let's hope that it ends relatively soon, so we can get at least a somewhat presentable season, not a completely condensed, strike shortened season. Let's be hopeful, I guess.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, we still got some time. I mean, right now, I mean, as we're talking, last we heard was that the owners tried to get mediation, and the players rejected the mediation because it was just a ploy from the owners to get PR support from the fans. And I think it's backfired on them. If you follow Twitter, you see all the players going out here revealing like how the league's bargaining actually is working. And right now, as much as I love talking to our friend Phil Freya, the legal guy here, I'd rather not be putting him on frequently, updating why we don't have a deal. Rather, actually, it's previewing baseball season. Exactly.
It does make for interesting discussions, but agreed. We'd all be rather talking about the actual season. And yeah, I mean, your Mets are actually exciting this year, I think. So it would be a shame if they miss a lot or most of the season.
Absolutely. Justin, thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you having me on as always. And thank you.